How do you bring social tools inside the firewall if you're a corporate communicator? Anyone watching this video knows that this is one of the hottest topics today in corporate communications. After all, we're so used to social media in our private lives. Why aren't we using these tools internally to foster collaboration and communication among our employees? Today I'm talking to Matt Morse from PointBridge Consulting on this very topic. Matt, what are the obstacles of bringing social tools inside the firewall?
I think there are several that we run into on a regular basis, and it depends a little bit on the culture of the organization, but some of the consistent ones are everybody loves email. I'm already social with my email, I'm forwarding things to my friends, I live in my email day to day. Why wouldn't I just continue to do the same thing? So there's some momentum, some inertia that has internally in organizations, that's sort of most people's kind of center of gravity. It's what's open all day, and just affecting the change to collaborating and communicating in a different way, I think, is one of the chief barriers.
But what's interesting about that is, as my viewers know, that email is also a huge burden. Yeah. People hate email at the same time. So social has this ability, right, to make communication more efficient and more collaborative.
Certainly does, and more open, right? If you and I are communicating on an email thread, maybe we can include other people, we can forward it to other people, but it's still a closed circuit, essentially. Social has the ability to open that up and have many more people participating in the conversation, and hopefully draw in different ideas from throughout the organization.
So one obstacle is we already have email, why change? What are some other obstacles with bringing social inside the company?
Fear, I think, is a significant one, and that ranges from just general fear of the unknown. We don't know what kind of effect this is going to have. It's a significant change. It ranges to fear that people will spend too much time doing it. Hey, this looks a lot like Facebook, and we know what people do on Facebook. I'm eating a ham sandwich.
It's going to be a time waster, right?
It's going to be a giant sink, and so people are concerned that that's going to happen. People are concerned about compliance concerns. I'm going to go out there and in a social space, I'm going to share information about the organization or about our clients or whatever that I shouldn't be able to do. And so there's just a lot of, I think, concerns when people see how open it is. That's certainly one of the key benefits. But the wheels start to turn as to what does this mean from a risk standpoint in my organization.
Now, we were talking earlier before we started taping about how you were optimistic that some of these fears and obstacles are starting to come down. Why do you think that is? And what can you tell our viewers about the arguments they can make to their CEO about why you should bring social inside the firewall?
Sure. I think one of the things that's happening is a reaction to what's happening in the consumer space. That there's maturity in what's happening in Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and some of those kind of areas. And organizations are almost reacting to that. So where they may have been forward thinking a couple of years ago saying we're going to go into this social collaboration environment, it's really more, hey, we have to be in social today because that's our employees are expecting to be able to communicate and collaborate in that way, either with each other, with clients, etc. The other thing that I think is happening is that organizations who are willing to pilot solutions that are based on social are seeing that a lot of the fears that they may have had initially are really not founded.
So when you say pilot, you mean instead of throwing themselves in across the enterprise, they may take one program or one campaign within the firewall and pilot that.
That's right.
And then they see that the roof hasn't caved in.
Right. So
okay.
The concerns about, well, people are just going to go out and spend too much time there, or they're going to post inappropriate content, or all of those kinds of things, we just don't see it happen very often. And so, but nothing proves that to an organization like trying it.
Now, I can just hear some of my viewers saying, yeah, well, that may be well and good for most Ragan customers, but I come from a very conservative organization. This is never going to fly. But you were telling me that you have insurance companies that are now engaged in social programs within, or social intranets.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, one of our insurance customers, I think that has been most successful in this space, one of the social things that they did was enable ratings and comments on every intranet article that they put out, right? So the Corp Comm department is still responsible for kind of the megaphone, being the voice of the organization, but now employees can come in and say what they think about the content that's there. They can like it, they can dislike it. And they recently announced changes to their employee benefits program that were not favorable for employees via this mechanism. And so the article went out, communicated the change, but it gave them the opportunity in the comments to respond to specific employee concerns. And so while it wasn't necessarily a positive communication that they were going to send out to the organization, it still happened in a very positive fashion.
And do corporate communicators like that? Because I'm glad you touched about commenting on articles. Because when I ask for a show of hands in our workshops and conferences, only about a third of the room raises their hand that they allow comments on their articles. Do you find that communicators, our audience, like this?
I think so. I think communicators who are genuinely interested in what people think, it's a tremendous channel to be able to enable, because it's focused, right? It's in the context of whatever that article was about, and so you're getting very focused communication and feedback from your audience. The other thing that I think we found be very successful in that context is when the author of the article is willing to engage in the comment stream, right? So as employees come in and leave feedback or ask questions, if the executive or whoever it is that actually sponsored that communication comes in and provides additional insight, answers those questions, then the comment stream becomes a very credible source of communication.
It actually extends the article, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the article may be dealing with a particular issue, and the reporter or the writer has done the best job that he or she could. But now, experts that have a deeper knowledge come in and start extending that knowledge.
That's right.
Well, that's great. Thank you for coming today.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.